Should I sit here?
You can sit anywhere you want. Well, welcome everyone, and you know, Canada is booming, right? And part of the reason that Canada is booming is because of you all, so give yourself an amazing hand. Amazing job, Canada. All right, so if the company that you just heard about, Jeunesse, is the car, then, and it is a Ferrari, if it's the car, you still need high octane gas, correct? So that and an amazing engine, and that would be the products. Because without amazing products, you can't sustain phenomenal growth, and you can't have a true base. Because the most important thing about a product line, especially in network marketing, is not that people buy the products so that they qualify their check. It's that they buy the products because they buy them anyway. Because it's something that people want. And that is what you are going to see is our product line. So I am very fortunate to be among some very esteemed other colleagues of mine, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about them as we talk about the product line. One unique thing about our product line is that it works synergistically together. Everything in the product line you can take at the same time. And we call the product line YES, for Youth Enhancement System. We don't call ourselves an anti-aging company because it's not about anti-aging. It's not about not aging. It's about youth enhancement. Because I can tell you as a physician that there are a lot of 24-year-olds out there that need some youth enhancement because they're not in very good shape. And so, you know some of them, I can tell. It really is about youth enhancement no matter what your actual chronological age. It's about your real age. It's about how you feel. And that's what our product line is truly about. So all of our products are designed to be used together, but yet each product, as you will see, has its own unique wow factor. So that means that each product can be used individually and still get this amazing wow factor. And this is what we have with, I guess I'll stay over here. This is what we have with our system, YES. You've already heard, do you have the, Becky, do you have the, are we showing the video for new agers, or are we assuming everybody's seen it? We're assuming everybody's seen it, okay. All right, so if not, go watch it. Okay, so with Instantly Ageless, you do have an instant response. We're talking 2 to 3 minutes. That's pretty quick. But it's not, it doesn't stay. You wake up in the morning and you pretty much look the way you did the day before until you put on Instantly Ageless again. It is cosmetic. It lasts 6 to 10 hours, which is pretty amazing, but it is a temporary result. Our product line Luminesse was designed by Dr. Nathan Newman, and that product line is truly a skincare rejuvenation. And that, as your skin improves and you look better and you have a reduction in the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, guess what? When you wake up in the morning, you still have a reduction in the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, and your skin is still looking better every day. So that's one of the big differences, and we just talked about that. Okay, so with Luminesse, one of the things that you're going to see is results not necessarily, well, you have Becky's right here, right? You have Becky's an immediate result, but you also saw on the slide, you saw Becky over time, how her skin changed. That's Luminesse. And that's the difference that Luminesse can create. Because with Luminesse, you have something called growth factors. It's something that Dr. Nathan Newman developed. And he is the reason that we have the Luminesse skincare line. It's patent pending. You can't get this anywhere else. It's something we call stem cell technology. And it's stem cell technology because it's not, the stem cells are not in the product. Just to be clear, for those of you who may be new guests, There's no stem cells in the product, right? Because otherwise the next question would be, whose are they? Are they Wendy's? Randy's? Okay. No. Okay. There's no stem cells in the product. It's the stem cell technology. Because you see, our own body has its own stem cells. How many of you have heard that there might be a controversy about stem cells? Might be some kind of controversy? Yeah, and you'd be right. About embryonic stem cells, there is a controversy. But what we're talking about is adult stem cells. And adult stem cells are the stem cells that are present in all of our bodies from the moment we're born. And I know it's weird because even babies have adult stem cells. But it's just the way they call them. And what they're for is to rejuvenate the body. It's our natural rejuvenation system. So all of our body has it. Our muscles have it, our heart has it, our bone marrow has it, and our skin has it. And Dr. Nathan Newman figured out that if he could use the stem cell technology, in other words, wake up and give back the skin what it needs to kind of wake up is the only word I can use, wake up our own stem cells in the skin, that our skin would rejuvenate like it did when we were 20 or 22. And I use those young ages because, hate to tell you, any 25-year-old out there, that at age 25, the aging process accelerates like there's no tomorrow. Now, you don't see it yet, but it's happening, and it's happening fast. So really, the only time we're not aging dramatically is in our early 20s. Soon as we're after age 25, all of these products become incredibly important. And by the way, they're important before, so that maybe that takeoff at age 25 doesn't happen. So that's what we have in Luminesce. We have stem cell technology. Now I guess the next, we already talked about insulin ages. The next product we're going to talk about is really a system of products, and that's Zen Body. And I just want to see one. Yeah, okay, good. Just wanted to see one thing. Okay. Then that's Zen Body. And Zen Body is different than anything else out there because, well, number one, it's not about weight loss. Just get that out of your mind and think about inch loss. Let me show you, let me just give you a visual. Well, I guess I can do it with the microphone in my hand. 5 pounds of fat is about this big. Okay? 5 pounds of muscle is about this big. So what happens when you lose 5 pounds of muscle? On the scale, you lose 5 pounds. Do you get much smaller? No. Your inches around your waist don't really change that much. Which is why we don't think of 5 pounds as that big a deal. Because most weight loss type programs have us lose weight a little bit too quickly because it seems fun, but it really isn't doing anything. As a matter of fact, it's hurting us. But we lose weight too quickly, and what happens is that weight is mostly muscle, then comes water, and then comes a little bit of fat. But how many of you in the room have actually, let's say, you guys use kilograms here, don't you? Okay, let's go kilograms. No? You use pounds? Okay. I'm like in Asia and all these other places where I have to switch to kilograms. Okay, I can stay with pounds. Yay. Okay, so how many of you in this room have lost and gained 10 pounds at least once? Okay, pretty much the whole room. Okay, so when we do that, or more times, when we do that, what happens? We've lost muscle, water, so now we're dehydrated, ooh, because that was helpful, muscle, water, and a little bit of fat. But when we gain it back, what do we gain back? Fat, right? So what have we actually done? We've actually replaced muscle with fat. So over time, even if we're the same weight, ooh, I'm the same weight I was in high school, too bad I'm not exactly the same body composition, I have way more fat and less muscle on my body than I did because of that up and down. This, you hear in the media, oh, yo-yo dieting is bad for you. Why? Well, this is why. It's bad for you because we have redistributed our weight in a detrimental way. And how many of you have felt, those of you who are over 25, that as you've gotten older, it's harder to get in shape.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. You know why? Because, besides a lot of other things going on, because we've almost all lost and gained just even a little bit, a couple of times, we now have less muscle. And muscle is the only thing that burns calories. While you're sitting here right now, the people with more percent muscle on their body are burning more calories. Therefore, they have a faster metabolism. If you've ever felt like, what happened to my metabolism? It went with the muscle. That's what happened with it, okay? And then, you know, it's like you get triple whammied. Because then they found out that actually over age 30, which by the way, they call in research older athletes. I resent that. The older athlete, over 30, give me a break, is known to, they can do the exact same amount of strength training, lift the same amount of weights, do the same amount of activity. They don't gain muscle as quickly as the under 30 athlete. That's not fair. So we designed a system that could circumvent a lot of that and make it so that we can win again. And that is the Zen body system. Right on, I heard that. Yes. And that is correct. So, the first component to the system is the capsules. The capsules help to put our body back in balance. That's these little guys here. Put our body back in balance as far as our leptin system. We won't go into our leptin system at this very moment because we're giving you a broad overview. But let me just say that our body contains a natural way for us to eat what we should eat. To only have the appetite we need. Wouldn't that be cool? You really only have the appetite you need. And to not crave things that are bad for us. Wouldn't it be cool to crave a salad? So, this is what happens though if our body is in balance. And that's exactly what the ingredients in Zen Shape have been shown to do. And this is why they're in there. And they do that without using any stimulants. By the way, we do have green tea in our product, but it is not a caffeine green tea. It is a decaffeinated green tea, only for the positive polyphenols and all the other good things that help you burn fat without stimulant. So there's virtually no caffeine, no other stimulants that artificially suppress appetite and burn fat. We're putting us back in balance so that we can do it the way we were meant to. And that's what the Zen body system is about. So it's very simple. You take 2 capsules twice a day, basically 30 to half hour to an hour before lunch, half hour to an hour before dinner. Then, remember that part about how we don't gain muscle no matter how much we work out? We figured that one out too. Athletes have known this for years, which is that amino acids are the basis for muscle recovery. You may or may not know that when you eat protein, the reason we eat protein is to break it down and digest into amino acids. Those amino acids then go to the body. They do lots of different things. The main thing they do, if they are in the right proportion, is build muscle, assuming that you're moving your body and your body has some kind of stimulus to build muscle, okay? But if you're doing that, now you have a step up so that you can actually accomplish it. So, 1 stick pack, I'm just going to open this. Hey, somebody else is going to open this. You have a key or something? So I can show you. Oh, look, she has one. Look at you. You're so prepared. I love it. This little stick pack is the way that we can help ourselves build muscle. And it's very simple to take. The easiest way to take it is you put 1 stick pack in 8 to 10 ounces of cold water, like in here, like that's what I'm drinking right now. And you take that with the 2 capsules, 30 to 60 minutes before lunch and 30 to 60 minutes before dinner. And the feedback is amazing because people that have lost weight before but never really gained tone and muscle and regained some of what they had in the youth, in youth, now have that with Zen Fit. And this also is being used by athletes, trainers, bodybuilders, strength trainers, to also improve muscle strength and endurance. So it has a dual purpose. But within our system, we are the only system that actually uses something that helps you build muscle as part of a fitness, fat loss, muscle building system. And that's Zen Fit. Now Zen Pro is for people who like shakes. Not everybody likes shakes across the world globally. It's 50-50. Some countries, they love morning shakes for breakfast. Other countries are like, why would I do that? So I want to tell you that these pictures you're going to see are this and this. No shake. Because we didn't have the shake yet. We were formulating it, but we didn't actually have it for people to use. So those pictures were done before we even had shake. It was the Zen Fit and the Zen Shake. The shake is also unique because the shake has not only 20 grams of high quality protein, and it tastes amazing, chocolate, vanilla, so it's a creamy shake, whereas, you know, the Zen Fit, the amino acid is more like a Kool-Aid, lemonade type drink or Gatorade type, and you can see it's mostly clear and it's watermelon fruit punch flavored. The shake has that, fiber, all sorts of good things, plus it has 10 billion, and that's with a B, not with an M, not million, 10 billion of 5 different kinds of probiotics. Because most of you know probiotics are good for you because where is the majority of your immune system? In your gut, that's correct. So you're helping support your immune system, but they also found in some more recent studies that people who have healthy guts, good bacteria in their gastrointestinal tract are leaner than people who don't. So it goes along with that whole putting your body back in balance so it can be in the state that is the most healthy for it. So let's just look at what happens when people do that.
Right on.
Right on, right?
Nice.
Here, what I want you to know about him is when he started this program, this picture was after he didn't know we were coming out with Zen Body or that we would have like a little preliminary panel. And he had already changed his diet, was eating really clean, doing, you know, everything really, it was really good. It was really a good eating program. And he had already lost 25 pounds, but he got stuck there. He could not change this plateau for 6 months. But with Zen Body, he clearly did. And look at his body fat, 26% to 16.5. That is huge. What's funny about him now is he no longer is counting how many inches he's losing. He's counting how many inches he's gaining around like his arms and his chest. Because he's all into like being fit. And he's never even joined a gym before this. Okay? So now you have Reserve. And Reserve is a phenomenal product because Reserve, by the way, is the #1 selling product in China. #1 selling product. Not even serum is, or ageless, well, I don't have ageless yet. Not even serum sells as much as Reserve. And that's because of how effective that it actually is. Reserve, well, let me just ask, how many of you have heard that red wine is good for you? Right? Yeah, pretty much everybody. And the reason that red wine is good for you is because of... Very good, smart audience. It's because of resveratrol, that's exactly right. And resveratrol has been shown in hundreds and hundreds of scientific studies to be a health enhancer. In other words, one of the things that it does is it actually activates our healthy genes. I don't know if you know this or if anybody's talked about this in any other seminars, but each of our trillions of cells, it's something like 30 trillion cells, individual cells in our body, have 30,000 genes in each one of them. And those genes make us us. You know, they give me brown eyes and other people blue eyes and things like that. But they also code for how healthy we are. They code for keeping us lean. They code for energy. They code for cholesterol levels. They code for all these other things that have to do with health. They code for the most potent antioxidant ever discovered is something our body makes, but only if our body's making it. Because you see, of those 30,000 genes, only 10% are working or active at any one time. And what you should be asking yourself is which 10%? Because it matters. Because they can now do what they call a gene array. They can look at what genes in the different cells are active, what ones aren't, and what they find is that over time that changes, and not in a good way, of course. It changes to all the good genes start turning off. It's like dimming the lights in a room. They start turning off, and genes that are actually do bad things to us, believe it or not, we have those, genes that do bad things to us start turning on. It's not what we want. We want to leave it the other way. And that's what they found that resveratrol does in all these different studies, which is why, you know, when you look at an ingredient that supports your immune system, supports your cardiovascular system, supports your metabolism, supports your gastrointestinal digestive system, supports also joint mobility and all those different things, you go, oh my gosh, how can one thing do all those things? Well, if it's working on a cellular level, in the level of our genes, it makes sense, right? How it could actually have all of that large effects. So it's very simple to take. It tastes amazing. It's this, the box has these little packets in it. You rip off the top, you drink it, and it also contains other synergistic nutrients, like acai berry, by the way, blueberry extract, pomegranate, dark sweet cherry juice, all these other synergistic ingredients that also studies have shown help resveratrol work even better. And that's an extremely unique thing. Now, along with that, we have, sorry about that. I just had it there for the time, not for somebody calling me. Along with that, we have now, we talked about a cellular level, right? Working at a cellular level. Affinity then takes it subcellular. By that I mean, what happens now inside the cell? We talked about genes. Well, genes are made of DNA. Well, what happens inside the DNA? What happens as a component of DNA? How many of you have heard of telomeres? Again, very well-educated audience. Telomeres, the reason, like the understanding of what telomeres do, won the Nobel Prize for 3 scientists in 2009. They figured out what telomeres do, and it turns out that these ends, these little ends, these strands of DNA at the ends of our DNA actually are one of the most important parts of our DNA. They don't code for any genes, but they protect the DNA. They are actually the underlying cause of aging or deterioration. Because, again, I say aging, but here, when you hear aging, hear the word just deterioration, because that's really what it is. Because, and if somebody's 30 and they have the telomere length of a 50-year-old, they have what science calls premature aging. It just means they're deteriorating a lot faster than the general population. That doesn't mean it's really normal, but it's faster than the general population. So what they found is, and this, get this, this won the Nobel Prize, okay? What won the Nobel Prize basically was long telomeres good, short telomeres bad. If you can believe it, that took 3 scientists decades to figure out. Because before that, do you know what they called the telomeres?
Junk.
Junk. That's exactly right. They called it junk DNA because they didn't know what it did, so they figured it was just this junk at the ends of our DNA. We don't know what it does. So in the future, just because you don't know what something does, it doesn't mean it's junk, okay? It's the most important part. Now, lots of things help support our telomeres, meaning help slow down the shortening. However, until now, until this particular ingredient was studied and clinically shown to do this, nothing else has ever been able to lengthen or basically reverse that shortening. And that is the ingredient that we have in Infinity. It lengthens short telomeres in humans, and that is a claim that we can make. It is what we say on the website. It is a huge claim. For those of you who know anything about how to talk about nutritionals, you know that you cannot make medical claims, okay? You know that you have to say things like supports the cardiovascular system, you know, all these different things. Like, for example, the ingredient in Zen Shape, besides the other things I was telling you about earlier, okay, this is how you have to say it. It maintains healthy blood sugar levels. You know what that's, okay? Maintains healthy blood sugar levels and maintains healthy cholesterol levels. We can make those claims about Zen Shape. So that's how you have to say it, because that's the way nutritionals are. But yet, as a structure function claim, we can say lengthens short telomeres in humans, and that is huge. Because no other, and no matter what any other distributor tells you from any other company, just know this, and you can just tell them, no other company has what we, no other network marketing company has what we have, and no other network marketing company can make the claim that their product lengthens short telomeres in humans. They can say supports telomeres, those kinds of things, because that's meaning help prevent or help slow down the shortening. But nobody can lengthen short telomeres in humans. And from what I've just told you, long telomeres good equals young healthy cells, short telomeres equals cells that are old and ready to die. And that is not what you want, right? So you can actually do, in scientific studies, they don't quite have this down for lay, like you can't go to your doctor and say, test my telomere length. But, not yet anyway. But they have, in studies they do, and in studies they've shown that your telomere length in general is, it goes along with how old you are. However, it is your true age, not your chronological age. So in other words, you can be 50, but if you have the telomere length that is longer, more like a 30-year-old, guess what? You are biologically 30, not 50. This is the key to youth enhancement. Now, to go along with that, we have, like Becky was saying, you might just think, oh, vitamin, mineral supplement, yeah, that's really cool. Not. But it's not. AMPM is something much more than a vitamin mineral supplement. It has inside it a vitamin mineral supplement, but it also has other synergistic ingredients, over 70 of them, by the way, that are incredible youth-enhancing ingredients. For example, well, and I'll give you another example. This I do have to put the mic down for. So, you look on the outside of the bottle. Do you see any ingredients? No. I thought you had to put the ingredients on the outside of the bottle, right? Yeah. Okay, so my assistant is going to show you where we put the ingredients. We had to make a special label because there was nowhere to put all of these over 70 ingredients. Thank you. And not only that, but it's not just a laundry list of ingredients. I don't know if you've ever seen like big multi-type products. It's just a big laundry list of ingredients, and you're left going, okay, do I have to look up each one to see what they do? No. Guess what? We put them in categories. So the ingredients that are related to DNA repair, meaning repair the DNA in our cells, guess what? They're in a category. The ingredients related to stem cell maintenance. We talked about stem cells earlier in the skin, right? Well, guess what? Remember, there's stem cells everywhere in our body. If our body is maintaining a young, healthy pool of stem cells, then we rejuvenate better. Stem cell maintenance ingredients are in here also. It is amazing, and so you don't need a brochure when it comes to AMPM. Just bring a bottle. Just put a bottle in your briefcase or your purse, and you can read people what it does, and they will be amazed. I want to tell you also that, incentive trips. Jeunesse has awesome incentive trips. And on one of the first incentive trips that I went on, we did like a little presentation, and we did a little training on the ship. It was a little cruise. And there was a group there that earned this incentive trip. And when I came to the AMPM part, I saw in the audience this kind of hands on hips look. I'm like, okay, what's wrong? And they go, where are the ingredients? Why are there no ingredients on this product? So I did the same thing Becky did. I opened the thing. I said, well, here. And their jaws dropped open. They went, oh, okay. So don't think that your new distributors, your new customers, whoever they are, can understand that, figure this out. Because Even people who actually earn trips, because obviously they've done enough business to come on a trip, don't necessarily know. So that, and oh, and by the way, remember I told you that the genes change over time? Well, here's a study that they did. One thing that AMPM does that no other supplement I've ever seen does is it pays attention to day-night metabolism in our cells at a cellular level. Day-night metabolism. This is huge because our cells need different things at different times of day. And by the way, the other physician on the medical advisory board, Dr. Vincent Giampapa, is the one who developed AMPM originally for his anti-aging practice and then exclusively licensed it to Jeunesse. Now, AMPM pays attention to, those two formulas are different for AM and PM because our cells need different things at different times of day. And a big problem with people, especially in our environment, there's too much stimulation. There's all this like input going on, especially right before we try to go to sleep. Our central nervous systems aren't getting the amount of sleep we should get. With AM/PM, that helps to correct that. And that alone is youth enhancing. Because they've done studies, they've taken young, it would happen to be guys, young men, and they sleep deprived them. By the way, sleep deprived under this study protocol was 6 hours or less. 6 hours or less. I didn't think that was sleep deprivation. So 6 hours or less after 2 weeks, their gene turn on, turn off thing had switched to being older. They had basically aged in 2 weeks, like 10 years, faster than they should have. Now, then they let them go to sleep and just recover. And by the way, you can recover. Ignore all that old data that says, oh, you can't make up on sleep. Yes, you can. Your body will just do it naturally. They let them recover and sleep just how they wanted to sleep, and it turned back. So you can recover. You can turn back time with just giving your cells what they need in the daytime and the nighttime. And that's what AMPM does. It's a very, very unique product. So, we have, but we don't have a slide for one other product. VitaCell. We have another product that is new to Canada called VitaCell. And VitaCell is a neat product because VitaCell, it is also a stick pack, but it's a little different. You actually are supposed to mix it in only about 4 ounces of tepid or warm water, okay? And you drink it, and basically, you know the taste of the water after you cook rice? That's what it tastes like, okay? Because we don't add any flavors or anything, it just kind of tastes like that. But here's how it was designed. It was designed many years ago in Thailand when they had these babies in the hospital that weren't thriving. They call it failure to thrive. The babies weren't growing, they weren't thriving. And they developed this special kind of porridge, this rice flour extract of these 3 different strains of rice, and they started feeding it to the babies, and these babies started to grow and started to look like healthy, strong babies. And then the doctors and nurses in the hospital thought, well, it's good for the babies, maybe we should try it. So they started taking it, and they found that their energy was better, they felt good, and they thought, wow, it's just this like rice extract, what could it be? And through some very preliminary kind of trials they found that this particular rice extract, they didn't realize what they were doing, but they had extracted something called alpha-glucans. And it is just a part of the rice that has biological properties to help the mitochondria, meaning the powerhouse of the cell, the part of the cell, again, working on a cellular level, the part of the cell that gives you energy, that lets your body do all the functions that you need to do. And, by the way, one of the things that inhibits us from doing all those things with the, having the mitochondria work correctly is being exposed to toxins in our environment. So we have things that can help so many different facets of our cellular metabolism, and that's why, number 1, you can use everything all together, and number 2, everything, as you see, has a wow factor, because even if you just took Finity and helped lengthen your telomeres, or you just use Ageless, or you just use AMPM, you could, or certainly if you just took Reserve, you would feel a difference. It's nutrition and skincare you can see and you can feel. This is why all the science is great, but people, we're just humans in the sense that we need to have feedback, regardless of what we intellectually know is good for us. And even I need feedback, even though intellectually I know it's good for me to get into a habit of taking something on a daily basis. And that's what we have with our product line, and that's why people don't just need it, they want it. And that is a key motivator. I could probably go on for hours, but I won't. It's okay. And with that, I just want to thank you for your attention and listening to all of our data and stuff, and just try them and you'll notice the difference. Thank you, Becky.